Hello there everyone, and welcome back to the item guide. Today we are going to be taking a look at all of the basic defensive items that can be bought by every single class in the game so that you can build better. First, let's talk about Sovereignty, which increases the physical protections of all your allies around you, and increases the amount of health they're going to regenerate as well. Sovereignty is a very good item for the support to pick up if the opponents that are diving your carries are dealing physical damage. Mystical Mail makes it so that everything around you takes a passive 40 magical damage a second. This item's really good if you're super far ahead. Do not pick this item up if you're even. Do not pick this item up if you're behind. This item would be a lot better if it was cheaper, but in its current state, it's a little bit too expensive to pick up. Midgardian Mail is an anti-attack speed item that makes it so whenever people land auto attacks against you, they're going to move slower and have their attack speed slowed as well. This is a really good pickup if you notice that the other team has a lot of auto attack based characters on the team, or if you notice that the hunter on the enemy team is really popping off. Emperor's Armor affects the attack speed of all structures in the map depending on where you're standing. If you're standing under a friendly turret, its attack speed is going to increase by 40%, but if you are diving an enemy turret, it's going to have its attack speed reduced by 30%. This works under towers and phoenixes, and as such is one of the most potent sieging options in the game. Witchblade is another anti-attack speed item that makes it so that all enemies around you have their attack speed reduced by 20%. This item is a very niche item that is really only applicable if the opponent has a ton of auto attackers on their team. Winged Blade makes it so that whenever you're hit by a slow, you are going to be slow immune and move faster for a few seconds. This is really good on characters that are really shut down by slows, characters like Ymir, Ares. This makes it so they are harder to lock down. Relic Dagger reduces all the cooldowns on your relics by 30 seconds. This item is a really good pickup if you have the team fighting relics on your character, but more on relics in another episode. Toxic Blade is the anti-heal option for auto attack based characters. This item doesn't really get picked up a lot because people traditionally poke with abilities, and as such people don't think to auto attack for anti-heal, and then they don't pick up this item because it's irrelevant for them. It's not a bad pickup though. If you think you can get poke off with auto attacks, consider picking this item up to shut down a healer. Hide of the Nemean Lion reflects 25% of all basic attack damage back to its original owner. This item is really good at shutting down people that are building into critical strike because they are going to be damaging themselves heavily as they strike you. This is actually the best counter to Mercury. If everyone on your team picks this item up against Mercury, that character struggles. Breastplate of Valor is one of the best items in the game for characters that like to spam abilities but need to have protections. It gives you 20% cooldown reduction. This allows every character that picks this item up to spam abilities more frequently, but they remain tanky. Spectral Armor is an anti-critical strike item that reduces the amount of damage that you are going to be taking from critical strike hits. Spectral Armor isn't picked up a lot because it's usually built in place of Breastplate of Valor or Hide of the Nemean Lion, and since both of those items are just better, it's not picked up a lot. Magi's Cloak makes it so that every 70 seconds you absorb a hard crowd control effect and become CC immune for a second. This is an automatic beads and is very valuable on all squishy characters because it makes them harder to lock down. Hide of the Urchin is a stacking item that stacks based off of kills and assists on enemy gods. Once this item reaches max stats, you are going to gain a health shield that stacks up whenever you're out of combat. This is a really good item if you plan on playing aggressive or if your team is snowballing really hard, but do keep in mind you have to be out of combat to gain this health shield, and the shield isn't that significant, so other items tend to be better. Spirit Robe is a must-buy for characters that want to be super tanky. This item makes it so that you take 15% less damage whenever you're hit by a crowd control effect. This is really significant and makes you survive significantly longer. Mantle of Discord makes it so that when you hit 30% health, you unleash this shockwave that stuns everyone around you and makes you CC immune for a second. This is another great item for people that want to be super tanky, and this item makes it so that it's way easier for you to get out of fights when your health starts getting low. Bulwark of Hope makes it so that when you drop below 30% health, you gain a shield. This shield is not significant. At max rank, it's only 350 health. As such, some of the other magical defense items are just better. Pestilence is the anti-heal option for tanks, and honestly is one of the best magical protection items in the game. Even if the opponent doesn't have a lot of healing on their team, I'm still probably going to pick up Pestilence because it's that good. Heartward Amulet makes it so that all allies around you have their magical protections increased and the amount of mana they gain back passively increased as well. Heartward is a good option for supports if you notice that the characters that are diving your carries are dealing magical damage. Talisman of Energy makes it so that whenever you kill a minion or an enemy god, you are going to gain 2% attack speed and 2% movement speed. This item is actually a decent item in Arena where there's a constant flow of minions and you can use this passive effectively. Stone of Gaia makes it so that whenever you are displaced, be it by a knockup or a knockback, etc., you are going to gain 15% of your maximum health back over 10 seconds. Now, on top of that, it also makes it so that you regenerate 0.3% of your max health every single second. This is a really good sustain option if you are constantly getting poked out in, say, solo lane. That's really the only role that should pick this item up. Shield of Regrowth makes it so that after you heal yourself with one of your abilities, you're going to gain 40% movement speed for 4 seconds. This is really handy on characters that rely on healing because it's going to give them a little bit of extra agility to get away from people that are chasing them down. Mail of Renewal makes it so that whenever you get a kill or an assist on a structure or a god, you are going to gain 15% of both your maximum health and mana back. This item is really fun, and it's good in Assault. It's not really the best item, but it is a fun item. Gauntlet of Thebes is a stacking item that stacks off of assists on minions. This item gives you protections per stack, and at max stacks, it gives an aura that gives all allies around you 10 physical and 10 magical protections. This item takes way too long to come online to be really effective. You'd want to build it early, but if you build it early, you're just a sitting duck in lane. It's not a great pickup right now. Genji's Guard makes it so that whenever you take magical damage from an ability, your cooldowns are going to be reduced by 3 seconds. This is a really good item, especially for magical defense. And it makes your cooldowns less. I really wish more people pick this item up. It's really good. Oni Hunters Garb makes it so that whenever you are diving the backline, you are going to gain damage mitigation. Basically, every single enemy god around you gives you 3% damage mitigation. This does cap at 9%, but 9% damage mitigation is pretty substantial. If you are building Oni Hunters Garb, you should also build Spirit's Robe so that both of those passives can help and make you a tanky beast. Shoguns Kesari increases the attack speed of all allied gods around you by 20%. This is a really good sieging item, and it is a really good item to pick up if your team comp is really heavily attack speed focused. Lono's Mask is a mask that can only be picked up by mages, hunters, and assassins. But what it does is it makes you take 20% less damage, but you're going to deal 20% less damage and do 20% less healing. This item is really good and is the sole reason that Fenrir support is a thing. But yes, that is all the generic defense items in Smite. Next time, we are going to be talking about the more specific defensive items that are only picked up by physical or magical people, respectively. That being said, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Have yourselves a casual day, and I will see you in the next video.